For years in our industry, there's been a war going on about ERP bundled solution, one vendor, one throat to choke, or best of breed applications. Solve a discrete problem and do it better than anybody else in the world. And that's been going on for years. And quite frankly, it's going to be going on for the next probably 2 decades. Depending on what issue a client is trying to solve, they will pick one or the other of those solutions. I personally believe that with the advent of cloud computing, we will see more and more best of breed coming up because clients want to preserve the expense and all the investment that they've put into a bundled solution. But as new cloud solutions come in for a discrete solution, like you have a very unique way of onboarding globally that needs to be solved, I think you'll see people going out and tapping that best of breed market for those discrete solutions because they're affordable. It doesn't require a lot of IT resource because you're not hosting it in-house. That brings up an integration issue, however, and that's really the issue that has to be solved between best of breed and ERP. And there are solutions out there today that do that. So in today's world where someone has invested heavily, let's say in an Oracle platform, they have Oracle General Ledger, they use Oracle for their HCM, but they had a discrete problem they were trying to solve. So perhaps they have a Taleo or a Silk Road onboarding module. That's wonderful because that application exquisitely solves their problem, but it creates another problem for them, and that is one of integration. The cloud vendor doesn't want to own integration to all these multiple products. They just say, hey, here's your API, go at it. Your own IT group would typically have a bunch of projects on their plate, and it's rare that you see HR float to the top of that list. It's usually, we typically see that it's on the bottom several times, rescheduled. So it creates that problem of integration. And the client doesn't want to be in the middle of it, having vendor wars of why something may or may not be working in that integration. So it creates that issue. There are companies out there who specialize in this, but it can be expensive consulting. So understanding what that issue is and how you're going to solve it will lay squarely with the people who are purchasing those solutions. When a client has a ERP system and several cloud solutions, what happens is they can end up in no man's land. The cloud solution doesn't really want to own integrations. They'll give you a nice, clean, and a well-documented API. Your IT department doesn't want to own the integration because they're working on revenue-generating projects that are going to take and trump your project in HR probably. And then as the customer, you're left holding the bag and you're trying to work with all of the groups to get it done. What Cloud Mills does, and they do it exquisitely, is we let everyone in that picture win. The vendors no longer have to be involved in integration. It's not what they do. Your IT department, very little interaction because we take the data and we massage it and we do all the work. And the customer is out of the middle. So they get to implement the applications for the reason that they bought them. They get to go off to the races, use the application, get what they need out of it. It's win-win-win. That's a great place to be.